Z06?
Not yet.
So basically sounds like an Italian exotic.
Yep.
And the car I currently own is a 2021 Corvette C8. This was my first one, and to be honest, I wasn't really into the car scene. I always liked cars, but this is the first time I'm actually jumping into all these car events.
Hey everyone, Shareef here at SS Customs. I'm here with...
You already know it's AJ.
Yep.
And Vijay over here.
Vijay. Welcome to another episode of SS Customs All Wrapped Up podcast. Today we got a lot in store for you with our guest Vijay. He is one of our clients. This segment is going to be talking, essentially we'll have a segment once a month where we're having a special guest here who's a customer, client, give you their perspective. They're kind of like look into what they feel the automotive world is, as well as some other cool questions that we'll have for them, and maybe what else they have coming down the pipeline in terms of automotive cars they may be acquiring and whatnot. All right, so without further ado, we're going to get it started. Vijay.
Yes, sir.
Out the gate.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, your name, what you do for a living, what kind of car you drive, and then we'll get into some other questions after that.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, my name is Vijay. I'm 35 years old. I'm a project manager with a network infrastructure company. Basically, we deliver fiber optic services to major corporations here in the Bay Area. And the car I currently own is a 2021 Corvette C8.
Z06?
Not yet. Not yet. It's coming hopefully at the end of next year.
There we go.
But
And you got your lovely ride or die here in the background.
oh yeah, she's back there. She's just not camera friendly. So.
And couple questions. Do you have any that you have first come to mind?
Man, out the gate, man, what's it like driving the C8? So that's one car I've not had the experience of driving yet, but background in automotive design, so it was a polarizing vehicle hitting the market. So as an owner, what's been your experience driving that vehicle so far?
So honestly, this is the first Corvette I've ever owned. I think a lot of people are jumping into the Corvette market now with the new look of the C8. You're getting a really good bang for the buck. And that's the reason why I kind of was looking into that. Yeah. For something that's less than $100,000, the looks are fantastic. The amount of features you get in the car is amazing as well. So, I really can't complain. I've had no issues with my car. Also, the fact that the color that I have is a rapid blue color. I get people looking at it and comparing it to Ferraris and whatnot as well. I have a friend that we all know.
The Chevy La Chevrolet.
There you go.
It's not the La Ferrari, it's the La Chevrolet. You know what I'm saying?
The car is great. Like I said, the only issue that I have compared to some of these exotics is the fact that it lacks the high-end power. But hopefully the Z06, once I get that will go ahead and fix that issue.
Well, it was doing pretty good numbers on the low end, right?
Yeah, off the line it can keep up with most cars. It just once you get top end or high end, that's where they seem to leave you in the dust.
I feel that.
Rapid blue, right?
Mm-hmm.
The rapid blue is the color.
And the interior is also blue, so it kind of goes perfectly. I've had you guys do some stuff to the car. I have 4G autos that you guys put the blue logo on the F to make it stand out. So a lot of people like that as well. Make the tires and wheels pop. So
yeah, we did a couple things on that car. Paint protection film. We did
PPF the whole car?
The high impact areas.
High impact areas.
Full front end. Nice.
We did I think some black accents to match some of the other parts of the car.
There's some that are
carbon
coming.
Black metallic. We
Yep.
have more stuff that's coming down the way, and I think you also have an exhaust system that you got installed.
Yep. AWE exhaust.
AWE exhaust system that really kind of opens it up. And then there's a couple other things you're working on there, but for the most part, you're starting to come to a halt because you got something else coming down the line.
Exactly, yeah. With the whole Z06, hopefully later in the year, or next year, I don't want to invest too much more into the car, especially if I'm going to be selling the C8. I think it's better at that point to kind of slow down and then work to put that money towards the Z06.
Speaking of the Z06, we've had, obviously being one of our clients, we do a lot of client interactions and events and things like that throughout the year, car shows, venues, all things like that. One of them was Monterey Car Week.
Yeah.
It was your first time doing Monterey Car Week in 2022 this year, and you got to experience what Car Week was about for the most part. You didn't get to do all the events, obviously. There's so much going on, but one of the cars you got to see there was a car you're about to get soon.
Yes.
So how did that happen?
We went to, obviously you were there. We went to one of the events. I can't remember where we went to dinner. It was lunch, actually. And I believe it was Amelia. She had brought up the Z06 there, and I happened to see it there, and it was beautiful. I wish I could buy it right there on the spot. I think that's when we happened to see it, I believe, right? We saw it together, I think.
What are some of the main features that differ between that one and your current C8?
I think it's the horsepower. First of all,
Is it all performance, or is there anything?
it's performance, but then also the exhaust. Everybody's talked about how the car sounds.
It's a completely different motor configuration. You're looking at a flat plane V8 now, as opposed to the stuff which is a lot of cars like that have a distinct noise. Ferrari 458 has a flat plane and it sounds very high pitched.
Yep.
The same thing going on with the new Z06. Now you have a motor that has basically sounds like an Italian exotic.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's leaving the grumble and the rumble of the American muscle that it was known for, and just really trying to step into that exotic field now with those kind of noises.
It was from my understanding after doing research, it was built off of the 458 platform with Ferrari. So that's what they wanted to, go towards, I guess, from my understanding.
Okay, that's interesting.
With the 670 horsepower, it's not going to be no slouch. And on top of that, for the price, like I said, you're looking at probably a fully loaded one for about $168,000.
Yeah,
compared to what your competition. You look at the Huracan Evo, possibly. You're looking over 300 easily.
Yeah.
And then I feel like with the Corvette, you're getting all these different features such as, overhead display, you got ventilated seats. Just little things that if you decide to go on a drive or a cruise, you feel comfortable, so.
So what all did you do down in Monterey Car Week?
We went to a bunch of different shows. I can't think of the one that we went to at the airport. That always leaves my mind.
Yes, so going back to the other one, Amelia is a big YouTuber. She has a Z06. She got really famous for her C8, and I think the fastest C8 ever made,
I believe, with the twin turbo.
The twin turbo setup was the first one. So she pulled up right in front of us at one of the venues, and we were actually out to eat, like he said, and she pulled up. So we're gonna, if we get a chance, we'll throw a clip in there of him and Nikki going up and meeting Amelia while she's pulling up in her Z06, and then we saw it again later that time.
Caption love at first sight.
Exactly.
Yeah, she had the first press car, so that's what she was driving around with. Chevy gave her the press car, so it was all black, looked great. It was that Spanish Bay. Yeah, there you go. Behind the scenes, there you go. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, it was great. So,
it's a good event, I would say. And then he asked what other events that we were at or present to.
You said something about an airport?
Yeah, we had so one of the kickoff events, they call it, the event is actually called, it used to be called McCall's Kickoff Event. It was made by Gordon McCall, really well known in that space for Monterey Car Week for years now. Has his own event at the Monterey Jet Center. So it's basically like an evening gala. You have red carpet affair, everybody's suited and booted to the nines, and they have all the imagine you walking into a tarmac of an airport, and it's all decorated with cars and planes, G5s, G6s, this, that, and the other,
and food and drinks.
Food and drinks. You got people walking around, serving hors d'oeuvres and things like that. And there's tons of alcohol manufacturers all trying to give out liquor for free.
See, I didn't even know that this was a thing because since I've moved to I didn't even know Monterey Car Week was a thing before I moved to California. So I just moved out here about 5 years ago. All I knew was Exotics on Broadway. I didn't know that they had big events like that prior. I thought everything was just kind of like a manufacturer had like a little private party for owners of each little individual thing leading up. Like Porsche does it and a couple others.
Yeah,
I had no idea that they had
they do.
Like that.
I heard they do releases. Some of these cars do major releases. Yeah, this was my first one. And to be honest, I wasn't really into the car scene. I always liked cars, but this is the first time I'm actually jumping into all these car events. So thanks to Shareef, I'll give the credit to him. He brought me in, and now I'm starting to get more and more into it. So, but yeah, we did that event and it was amazing. The stuff we saw, the cars that we saw, just the whole nine, as you say, was just out of this world. I mean, there is some more events that, like, so we want to go to hopefully next year, such as Quail. We definitely want to try that, hopefully get that down.
I heard you got one more under your belt this year that I'm a bit jealous of, if I'm going to be honest.
We'll get to that. SEMA? Is that what you're talking about? SEMA?
So he brought up a good point. Monterey Car Week is like the mecca of car get-togethers at a more bougie luxury scale. So you have all the big manufacturers there that are in that space, from Bugatti to McLaren, Koenigsegg, Pagani. They're all present there along with the founders of the companies during Monterey Car Week. Tons of celebrities, tons of automotive personnel, and everybody's there gathered for multiple events. The famous Concours d'Elegance happens there. Then you have like Concours Italiano. You have the Quail, which is another big prestigious event. You got tons of events going on during that time frame. So one of the events is Exotics on Broadway, like you mentioned, which is a bigger event that happens. It's free to public. It's actually one of the only ones that are free to public, which we had a big booth at that Vijay was there present with a bunch of other cars in our lineup. If you've never been to Monterey Car Week, it's got to be a bucket list item. You got to make sure you take advantage of everything you can. Go do 17 Mile Drive. Go to Ocean Avenue, so that way you go down that street and see everything's going on. It generally starts popping off pretty good from like Wednesday onwards. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you get a moment to go out there and experience Monterey Car Week at least once, you got to do it. Put it on your bucket list. Doesn't matter where you're at, where you're coming from. I think personally, would you do it again?
Oh, hands down. I mean, like, so that's one of the, being new into the car scene, I mean, yeah, it was great. I mean, just my advice is to stay out there so that you can experience the best of it. I think that's the best advice, and book your hotels early. That's all we gotta say.
We do Airbnbs.
Yeah.
This year, we had a pretty dope Airbnb. He had the best room in the house.
TI.
What happened?
Yeah, best if you've seen haunted movies. Yeah. Oh. He left us in the haunted house while they got the newly renovated house that had locks and
locks.
Yeah. We were fighting for our lives that night.
You liked it, right? It was charming. It was a really it's a historic home. It was actually one of the first homes in Carmel Valley area. It was actually adjacent to Carmel Valley. It was what's the city right there? Salinas.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was about 10 to 15 minutes from like everything where it's going on downtown. And you could hear the racetrack from Laguna Seca from where we're at our house. You could just hear all the cars buzzing in the background at it from a distance, so it wasn't too annoying, but you could kind of just hear the faint rumbles, and which is kind of cool. And he had a really cool room. He had it all decorated right in front of the door. All his luggage stacked up right there perfectly.
Yeah. Just in case, gotta be safe. But overall, no, the property was nice. I mean, it was really well done. Mm-hmm. And the location was just perfect, where you could easily get to where you needed to go, but you were far enough away where you weren't all in the middle of it. You could relax, And I think it was just
you were relaxing in our office inside the.
We're talking about that? Are we going there? Is that what this is?
That's maybe a discussion for another time.
I'm just over here like, what did I miss? Like, what really happened down here? Oh my goodness.
Am I unpunked?
Oh no, that was a good time.
No, it was a good event, and like I said, I would definitely recommend it to people. Whether you're experienced in the car scene or if you're brand new. I mean, to go and see some of these cars that I've never even heard of. It's awesome. So it was an awesome event. And like I said,
what was the coolest car that you saw there?
I've never heard of the car until I met Shareef, and it was the Apollo. The Apollo IE.
Dream car. Oh.
Yeah.
And we were actually part of the fuel run there in Monterey. So we saw the Apollo IE and the Bugatti together. So it was the Bugatti with the Apollo right behind it.
It's the only time a Bugatti's going to look like a Prius is sitting next to an Apollo. Oh my God, the Trinity exhaust. Oh my God.
No, it was, I've never even heard of that car until I met Shareef. And
if you don't know, look it up, Apollo IE. Maybe we'll throw an image of it down here. But the Apollo IE is, in my opinion, one of the coolest looking supercar, hypercar, actually probably hypercar category there is out there.
It's the Batman car.
It is, man. If there's
awesome.
ever a car that just like, I mean, we see Koenigsegg's and Pagani's, but when this pulls up, it's a whole nother level. And Hyper NFT was the one who owned the car. He was on the rally with us, and he went. He has a bunch of cars, but that was one of the ones I think is my favorite. And he brought it out to Fuel Run with us. So basically, our events were, and this is what we do every year. So our clients come out. We usually get an Airbnb, and all of our customers get to come out and experience Monterey Car Week with us, or at least the select ones that we can have that year, depending on cars and what events we're going to be going to. So we started off with McCall's kickoff event, right? Which was that evening. I think it was Wednesday night. The gala event, black carpet, tarmac, walking through jets, and all that kind of stuff. So it was good. Then the next day, we woke up early with Fuel Run. Yep. So we did a Fuel Run where we went up to Canapa in Scotts Valley, and then did the whole museum tour, and then drove back. Then the next day was 17-mile drive, I want to say. Yep. It was 17-mile drive. And then after
Friday was our free day, then we decided to do all that stuff. And that's,
Friday, we just kind of hung out.
And that's where we went to Spanish Bay, I think, right? It was Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we saw it.
Spanish Bay.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, I think we were all, because Saturday and Sunday are like Concours Italiano and Concours de Elegance. And so these are some big events that are happening there, but
that's huge. That's huge. Concours de Elegance is huge. That was my first experience when I went down there. So like I was saying, like if you haven't been there, go. But what you've been hearing them talk about this entire time is exotic cars. But if you are a fan of not just classic, but vintage, all original, 1920s vehicles, some even older than that, Concours de Elegance, they have a huge competition to see who has the best vintage vehicle from many years, many makes, models. And that was actually my first experience when I went down there. So I went to school for designing cars, and I got to go down there. I was actually at the time, and it wasn't even through my school. I actually went as a VIP of Rolls-Royce.
Oh, wow.
That was a hell of an experience. But I got to go into Concours de Elegance. But then what's really cool is there's a dichotomy there, because they have the big competition for all the old vehicles. But then off to the side, they will have the concept circle. So they bring all the little concept cars from the major manufacturers, and they'll put them on a grass circle, and they'll have them all lined up, so you can see cars that aren't even out yet, cars that they're going to take their design language from and start incorporating that into their vehicles, all sorts of things. Like I've seen some really cool vehicles down there on their concept circle. And then when traveling and doing stuff with Rolls-Royce was amazing. And I actually seen the unveiling of the McLaren Senna down there. So I had a really good friend at that time, and they were just networked in. So we got to go to the unveiling of the Senna, which was really cool. They had the 600 LT over there. Very, very private party. Couldn't have been more than like 50 people. And then got to go do the Rolls-Royce thing. So there's definitely events for whatever your flavor is. Like they got something for you. So it's definitely an event to go to if you can make it out.
Yeah, don't they have something like with auctions out there? The whole big auctions going on at that time as well?
Yeah, you have
Meekums, there you go.
And you have a few other big auction companies.
So you have all types of stuff to do out there.
Yeah, there's just literally so many things going on during Monterey Car Week that it's one of those things you got to experience.
And if not, just go have the clam chowder. I mean, you can't go wrong with that at Monterey.
There you go.
And as we're getting closer to the holiday season, sorry about that phone call. As we're getting closer to the holiday season, I would say one of the things that happen towards the end of the year is Vegas.
He's pointing at me because I didn't get to go, and I'm still just a little salty about it. Man, yeah, SEMA's huge. He got to go instead of me. Ain't that something? I work with him. He got to go
people say we look like brothers. Okay, is that
brothers or lovers? Which I mean.
Let's make sure it rhymes like it, but it's brothers.
Oh no, I think I done seen some. We're questionable.
But no, SEMA was really interesting. I was fortunate enough to get in that. Thanks to Shareef once again. But it was really unique. I mean, like this is some events that I've never done before. Being newer to the car stuff. So I mean, I'm just seeing so many new items, so many new cars.
Are you sure you saw a lot of things at SEMA?
Let's not talk about that. Come on.
Hey, bro, we don't lie on the podcast. All right, we don't lie.
I'm not lying. I'm just saying I saw stuff. I mean, yeah, we happen to sleep a lot. You know, yeah, we did show up at like 2, 3 o'clock when the event closed at 5, but we saw stuff. We had to brisk walk the whole way, but we saw stuff.
Man was power walking through the halls. He looked like he was exercising, walking through the vehicles.
And he had his headband on.
Look at hips just switching.
Busting a sweat. God, but no, I mean, SEMA was
Did you have a
fun.
fanny pack on when you doing that?
It's not called a fanny pack anymore, dude.
Man bag.
Yeah, my
man bag.
my satchel. Come on.
Satchel. Oh, man.
No, but SEMA was good. I mean, that was the first time I've been to Vegas as an adult. I was there when I was like 13. So we experienced a lot of stuff out in Vegas as well. I mean, there was, it was fun to be out there.
So what is that, and either one of you feel free to answer this, what is SEMA like? So, for example, Monterey Car Week is just like things are spread out. Monterey Car Week is really, it feels like a block party, to be honest. Like you're walking everywhere, people everywhere, whole nine, but it's all outdoors and you just got a bunch of nice cars everywhere and it feels like a block party. But I know SEMA is vendors only, so you got to be in there. It's not like open to the public, right? So vendors only, and that has to change the social part of it in some form, because it's like everybody who's there is a part of that type of community. And then on top of that, is it indoors? Is it outdoors?
I would say it's a little, but I know like they had cars and stuff outside. And I'm gonna just speak from as a first time, instead of being in the business, I guess, more manufacturer or whatnot. To me, what I saw, it was just a bunch of people or car organizations, or not even car, I should say, companies basically showing off their new products and stuff like that. We saw a lot of people. We saw a lot of people showing new products and stuff like that. I mean, that's what I gathered. I mean, it wasn't like it was like a car show or anything.
So is it like booths everywhere?
Yep, booths, products. Basically, there are people applying products, wraps, ceramic coatings, and stuff like that. So I think it was just, basically from what I saw, offering what's new. Trying to show other vendors, maybe sell them stuff. Yeah. I mean, that's what I saw. It wasn't per se like Monterey, where it's just like a car show all the time. Mm-hmm. People are showing off their nice cars. It was more so, basically new products coming up, I would think, or ways to maybe offer or utilize the product differently. I don't know. Like I said, you're better off asking Shareef on that.
SEMA is the largest automotive trade expo.
There you go.
In North America. Mm-hmm. Probably one of the largest automotive trade expos in the world. So it is an industry event. So technically, if you are in the industry, automotive shop, manufacturer, something to do in automotive, those credentials are used to get you into the show. Yeah. And they look at it through like your business license and everything else that you're gonna require to submit to be able to get access to the show. Once you're in the show, the entire Las Vegas Convention Center area is essentially morphed. They have the boring tunnels underground that connect you, which Tesla is a part of, and they're driving all people back and forth between the different exposition centers or the expo centers. And then you have the convention center. And the convention center is so huge during the pandemic, they built out a whole another section of the what do you call it? The Las Vegas Convention Center. Yeah. But a huge amount of it is indoors. So you have automotive manufacturers like Ford and Chevrolet and so on and so forth, and they're debuting new products, new cars, new motors, new engines. You have Holley and Borla and all the muscle car companies. You have carbon fiber manufacturers. You have wheel manufacturers.
Sounds like the LA Auto Show on steroids.
Anything to do with automotive parts, aftermarket performance, all of our vinyl companies that we work with, and anything and anybody to do with the industry, from small little trinkets and gadgets to big household name brands, are all there. Usually their execs are there in tow, so you can go, and if you have plans to meet with somebody here or there at some company, you want to meet the one of the main top level guys at one of the performance companies, InGen or whatever, some big wheel company like HRE or AL13, which we met, or Boston, then you're able to meet the entire staff as somebody who sells their products and be able to connect with them, see what they have, able to offer for the clients, and put a face to the name that you might have been emailing if you're ordering parts for these people. So it's really good.
On that note, which I think is a good part, is there anything that we as SS Customs should be looking forward to potentially getting coming up that you found at SEMA?
We forged new relationships. We always forge new relationships when we're going out there. We shook hands with the guys at AL13, which we weren't able to do for a long time. And then we've had a bunch of other companies that we're, making sure that we continued establishing our relationships with. There's some new products there that we're looking at from like S-Tech and different people. So a lot of it's just we try to keep it within our industry because you could spend well over weeks there walking around looking at each product.
Oh yeah.
But you only have 4 days for the show to be open. So we had to stick to, like Glossit and other brands for the ceramic coating manufacturers, as well as other things that we're looking at in the film side, and make sure we just stay in our lane because it gets really crazy.
Yeah.
But overall, it was really good. We dropped some of the videos for SEMA that you guys could check out in our other YouTube videos on our experience there, some of the people that we met, and some of the interviews that we had. So you could check that out on our YouTube channel right now if you wanted to. Maybe we'll throw a link down here. But that's SEMA, man. In a nutshell, that's SEMA.
Something else that they might be able to look forward to, podcast related, that might be coming out of SEMA?
Yes. When this video drops, I don't know if it's already dropped yet, but whether it has dropped or hasn't yet, you guys have to go ahead and, if you are in the industry, the wrap industry, the paint protection film industry, detailing industry, essentially at SEMA, being one of the oldest wrap shops on the West Coast, and one of the, just one of the OGs in the game, I have a lot of good contacts with a lot of people across the world. So I was able to get some of the most influential people that I admire and respect in one room during SEMA in our industry, and it was basically a podcast that we did with people from all different countries of the world, from Australia to Japan, Denmark, New Zealand, you name it, they were all in the room, different parts of the United States, Miami, New York, obviously California, Arizona. It was just people from everywhere, all walks of life, but we're all talking about the same type of industry and what's the symbiosis, what's new coming online, and what they feel like the market's about. So if you're in the wrap game, go ahead and check out that, or PPF game or detail game, check out that podcast on our YouTube channel. You'll find it there, and probably being shared by all the other people that are involved in it as well.
Was working with them to set up a date because I hadn't received the C8 yet, but I wanted to be able to take my car there as soon as I got it, so to avoid any chips or anything like that. When the car finally came, I reached out to that particular shop, and they said they were done for the rest of the year. They were booked out. So I was like, oh, okay, I can't wait that long. So then I started Googling, looking, kind of, expanded my search a little further because I'm across the bay. And then I actually came across SS Customs on Google or Yelp, and I read the reviews, found out that they were a reputable shop from what I read. So I reached out, had an appointment set up, and then brought my car in and had it done. And like I said, I couldn't be happier.
Wait, so this is news to me if this is the case, because I was friends with them before I started working here. Are you client turned friend? I thought you were friend turned client. Are you client turned friend?
Yep.
That's dope.
Yeah,
That's
actually,
crazy.
and like I said, I tell everybody this that knows me, it's thanks to Shareef that I got into the car scene and actually met a lot of the car people that I know. It's literally thanks to him.
They're brothers. I swear to God, I knew them before I came here. They have a bond tighter than everybody else in our friend group. I had no idea that he started as a client like that.
Yeah, no,
wild.
It was so. It's actually an interesting story. So I came in, we started chatting. We found out our parents are both from Fiji Islands. We actually found out we found out we live 10 minutes apart from each other.
Oh,
less
so
than that.
cute.
Yep. So to be honest with you, he invited me over to his wife's birthday party. If you talk to her now, she'll tell you she's like, who are you inviting randomly to my birthday party?
Yeah, she's like,
who are these people?
who did you invite to our house? Oh, just a customer I met at the shop. And she was like, what? Customer was like, yeah, don't worry, it'll be all good.
But no, and now here we are a little over a year, and I consider him to be one of my great friends. He's a great, humble person. His work is amazing. The people he employs are amazing. So I'm not just saying that because I'm his friend, but he's he's not only running a business, but I feel like he's an actual car guy, and I feel like that's what makes it different. He loves cars, so he puts that love into what he does. And I feel like that's maybe the differentiating factor between some other people. But I mean, he goes out of his way and does a great job, and so does all of his employees that I've met.
I would like that tagline: "Not running a business, building a family."
Oh,
That's kind of tough.
Yeah. So
Food for thought.
Yeah. So
we definitely try to welcome people
Trademarked.
at that level
copyright.
into the shop. So I appreciate the kind words, man.
Yeah, no problem.
We tend to have that. At least that's what the cultures we try to teach is make sure that everybody who's coming in, this is something really valuable to them. They worked really hard to get to this point in life where they could buy something or they care about something as much as their automobile. And when they drop it off with us, it's their child, their baby. So we have to take care of it.
It's the money they're spending, right? I mean, it's their hard-earned money in most cases. So
and like as car people, we understand that. Like obviously a big-time car guy, which is why I even got involved in this industry. There's a lot of people who got involved in this industry because they see it as an industry to make money. I got involved in this industry before the industry existed because I wanted to do automotive, and this is the only thing I knew how to do, right? Yeah. So there's a stark difference between a lot of people who get involved for the money versus people who get involved because they love cars.
Yeah, and I feel like that's why, to me, I mean, I feel like you're so successful. You guys just love cars.
It becomes a byproduct.
Yeah.
And I think you're a big-time car guy. Everybody who's here, it's like one of my what was one of the things I said that was a stipulation if you worked here and you were in sales?
Yeah, that it helps. It wasn't a stipulation. You wasn't gonna knock me out the room, but out the gate, you said one of the main things that helps you sell, helps you be a part of this industry is the fact that you are a car guy. So out the gate, that was one of the first things you said. And I was
if you don't understand cars and you have a car guy walking in, and you finally know everything about us, our service, our offerings, but you don't have a passion with the industry that you're working in, it's hard to convey that passion naturally and genuinely to the customer or whoever the client is. So I think that part is big for me, big for you, and the customers can kind of feel like, yo, these are car people, I'm comfortable here.
Yeah, and for me, coming into the shop, it was actually humbling to be able to meet the owner of the shop. Sometimes you just meet somebody down there and you're like, okay, just a sales rep. But I had the time to actually talk to the owner, him talk back, and us, kind of communicate at a higher level or a deeper level. And I was like, man, wow,
Yeah, for the size of this shop, it's definitely still ran like a mom and pop startup.
Yeah.
Like that is something that's interesting.
And I feel like you don't always see that anymore. It's like you don't see them walking around, shaking hands or looking at the cars, and to me that was really nice to see. So
natural coming from a small business, I think it's just you don't see it as anything new, right?
Yeah.
I think
shout out Sam Signs.
Shout out Sam Signs, yeah. But it's one of those things where it's probably just ingrained. I don't see it as anything new or different, but I guess I can see from your perspective, to be able to have that connection or vibe. Because when I go to like a place or a lounge or something, I get to meet the owner, then it's slightly different.
Yeah.
If he's the one engaging, then it feels more like
that he cares.
That business has a more direct relationship with the client, or they care, like you just said.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. So you came here, you liked us, and you stayed.
Yep.
And now you won't leave me alone.
Exactly. I live at his house.
I was gonna say now you're stuck, but really you're the one that's stuck with him.
He's not going nowhere.
But even his girls in the background, like, he's stuck with him. Oh man.
Nah, it's good, man. Good relationship. So, is there anything that you want to close off with?
To close out, man. There was one question we didn't ask. You're getting the Z06. Is that your dream car, or do you have another dream car?
That's not my dream car. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I would love to have some type of Lamborghini later on down the road. Right now, I'm digging the Aventador SVJ, but like I said, I mean, who knows what'll be out, 5 years from now nowadays, right? There's so many changes being done in the auto industry. So
the dream car is the SVJ, not the Apollo IE?
Okay, well, okay. I mean, I don't know how many Apollo IEs they got right now, so, and I think if I got one before him, he'd probably kill me, so let's be honest.
I'll be going to your house on
right. And he's gonna become a master in foosball.
Right? Oh yeah, that ain't gonna happen. But
foosball expert over here.
Yeah, but no, for the Z06 for right now, I mean, it's slow and steady. Seeing where where I go in life. I mean, I'm 35. Like, let's see what the future holds.
Yeah.
Especially with the whole pandemic. Finally, I mean, who knows what's going on with the pandemic nowadays?
Yeah.
But let's I don't want to be overreaching, I guess.
I feel it.
But yeah.
Well, shoot, if any of y'all got dream cars out there, if y'all got some crazy experiences, man, let us know. I love reading and hearing about everybody else's experiences because, like I said, I'm not even from California. And I'm not very well traveled yet. So hearing about what else is out there would be really cool to see. But other than that, man, what's the usual? Like, follow, and subscribe, right?
Yeah, you gotta like, follow, subscribe, drop a comment.
There it is.
Of something you would like to see us discuss topic about. Next one will be industry. So you'll be meeting somebody from the automotive industry that we respect or admire, that we'll be bringing in on as a guest. And if you got any comment or questions, or you like us, you hate us, whatever, just drop a comment down below. We'll make sure to read and respond and go from there. As always, thank you, gentlemen.
Yep.
AJ for joining us. Thank you, Vijay, for being
no
our
problem.
special guest today and taking the time to hang out with us, as if I don't hang out with you already enough.
Man.
Yeah. Probably going out to dinner after this now. But thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course,
And like I
man.
said, thanks for all the hard work you guys do.
Absolutely.
Can't complain.
Appreciate it.
And then if I don't see y'all next week, I'm traveling back home. So we'll see. I might jump in virtually. We'll see what happens with that. But if I don't see y'all, happy holidays. One love to everybody. I mean, I'll see y'all after today. But
Yeah.
happy holidays and one love to y'all.
Happy
Ugly
holidays
folk
from
too.
him.
Yeah.
I'll be giving you happy holidays more than once.
There it
Thank
is.
you for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Deuces.
Cool.
Cool beans.
That one was so much better than